Welcome, grade 12s, yes, to your favorite learning program, Learn Extra. I'm Ashraf Patel, today with your favorite subject, that's right, accounting. We are dealing with the supplementary paper of 2010. Remember, we're going to engage this question paper in order for us to sort out any problems that you may have. So, what you waiting for? Call us on 0861 058 262. I repeat the number once again. For all your accounting questions based on the supplementary 2010 accounting paper, call me now on 0861 058 262. You can also email us on info@learnextra.coza. The email once again, info@learnextra.coza.co.za. Okay, now, when you involve yourself, when you engage yourself in an accounting paper, it's always very important to look at the question and to see what are you given. Let's look at this question paper now. And we're going to find that in this paper, there is a guideline for you. In other words, if you look at, let's just, before we go there into the question, let's look at the questions. In accounting, we are fortunate in a sense that the question is broken up for you into the following sections. For example, if you look at question 1, you are given and you are told that the topic of the question is a debtors control and an age analysis question. It also tells you the question, the amount of marks that particular question entails, as well as the time that you have to spend on that particular question. Question 2, going further, is on inventory valuation. Once again, 45 marks and 25 minutes. Now, listen carefully to what I'm telling you now. You are not obliged to start with question 1. In other words, what am I saying? You are given a question paper, and the beautiful part of the accounting is the fact that you are given an answer book. That's right. In other words, you have a choice as to where you want to commence with your accounting exam. Now, grade 12s, if your favorite section is, for example, question 4, namely manufacturing, so what do you then do? Obviously, you go directly into the question, open your answer book to the question on manufacturing, and you immediately go and answer that question. Why does a person do that? Why would a matriculant prefer to start with a question that he or she likes best? Obviously, the reason is obvious. What you will do is, once you get into a question and you actually engage the question and you know exactly what's going on because it's your favorite, and you immediately get into the answer and things start working out, I can promise you what happens is you build up such, your confidence builder becomes so great that your temperament sets in and immediately you're on an accounting high. That's right. And once you're on an accounting high, I can promise you that even though you may be faced with a question that may be slightly challenging, you'll definitely be able to answer it. On the contrary, if you say, for example, feel that you have to start with a debtors control and an age analysis, then immediately, if you come across something you're not au fait with, that gives you a bit of a hassle, immediately it puts you on a back foot. And then what happens? You start panicking. Once panic sets in, it spoils your tempo, it spoils your mood. And immediately, even if there's something that you know, there's a possibility that you can mess up. So, what are we saying? These are tips on how to go about answering an accounting exam. So, we've spoken about the question paper, and when you walk into an accounting exam, remember, you are given reading time. That's right. And that reading time is meant to read, to peruse through your question paper. In other words, grade 12s, use that reading time effectively. Yes, you're not supposed to write in that reading time. We all know that. But you have the time to read through your question paper. So what happens now? You can, okay, your mindset is there. Question 1 was debtors control and age analysis. Immediately you go to question 2. It's on inventory valuation. What's question 3 on? Question 3 is on the balance sheet and audit reports. We carry on further. Question 4 is on manufacturing. Question 5 is on cash flow statement and interpretation. And question 6 is on the projected income statement. So what is this set for you? It sets a tone for you. It sets your, you could exactly, while you're working on your question paper, you can even do the following and say, watch, this is what I'm going to do. Because I like manufacturing, you put a number 1 there and say, I'm going to answer that question first. Okay? And set a priority list for yourself. In other words, tell yourself, right, question 1, manufacturing, that's the one I'm going for first. Next one that I'm going to answer is on the balance sheet on audit reports. So you put a 2 there. You're setting yourself and telling yourself, right, that's the order in which you're going to answer your accounting question. Remember, you can call us on 0861 058 262. We are here to answer any questions that you have on what? On the supplementary accounting question paper 2010. Remember, that paper was written earlier this year to matriculants who had to rewrite the paper for whatever reason. We are working through that question paper today, so we are waiting for your calls on 0861 058 262. If you want to email us with your questions, by all means do that at info@learnextra.coza. Right. Okay, so that's the contact details for you to get hold of us. Coming back to the question paper. Once you have decided, okay, within the 10 minutes reading time that has been allocated to you. Now remember, the reading time is not part of your writing time. It does not impact on this time allocation that you see for the questions that you have to answer. In other words, what are we telling you? We are telling you that that 10 minutes reading time that you are given before the start of an exam is meant specifically for you to peruse through your question paper. So it gives you a mindset, it gives you an overview of what is expected of you in this accounting exam. Okay, now you've done all of that, and immediately once the 10 minutes are up, your invigilator will tell you, okay, you may start writing. Now you have identified for yourself any of the questions that you want to answer. Like I said, you've got a grid here at the beginning of your question paper, and you have indicated on your grid that you're going to start with question 1 first. Obviously, that may be my favorite, your favorite may be something totally different. So be careful. What we are saying is that do not start with question 1. Okay, another important tip. While you have set yourself question 1 as the starting point, look at the marks and look at the time allocation that has been allocated to that question. That means within 20 minutes, you are expected to complete question 1. Now this time grid, grade 12s, is very, very important. Yes, it's not cast in stone, but it gives you more or less an indication of the amount of time that you need to spend on a particular question in order to complete your entire question paper. What do we find? We find that grade 12s walking out of an exam, and what's the first thing that they say? I didn't finish my question paper. Come on guys, if you do that, that means any questions unanswered in the exams, a line will be put through it, and the examiners and your markers will just allocate a 0. Because there's nothing there, nothing to be marked, and obviously no marks can be allocated. So what are we saying? We are saying that if you stick by the time guide that you have been allocated on your grid, I am sure come the end of 3 hours, you would have answered the entire question paper. Now think about this. This tells you exactly that at the end of 3 hours, I should be completed with my entire paper. And you are giving yourself the best opportunity of getting the highest possible mark because you have attempted every single question in the question paper. Now, if you leave out questions question 6 worth 55 marks. What does this mean? It means that, looking at this here, just to illustrate to you, it means that 300 minus 55, your paper is only out of 245. In other words, you have sacrificed 55 marks. On the 55 marks, you have been allocated a 0. That's right. There's no marks that can be allocated. Why? No attempt on that question. In other words, guys, my appeal to you is make sure that you attempt the entire question paper. Remember, you can call us on 0861 058 262. We are waiting your calls on the question paper. Once again, the March 2010 supplementary paper, that's right, the accounting paper, or you can email us on info@learnextra.co.za. We are waiting your calls. We want to answer. We want to help you with challenges that you have on this paper. So if you have engaged this paper, come on, give us a call so that we can give you guidelines and show you methodology on how to go about answering a question. Whatever your problems are, we're waiting for your call. Right, coming back to our examination tips. You will recall from other exam papers that you have written throughout the year. I'm sure you wrote a March exam, you wrote a June exam, you may have written a prelim exam. What challenges are you faced with? You find that you come across something that you're not too au fait with. Do not spend excess time on something which is going to rob you. It's going to take away from you time in order to complete a question. So if you come across something and you're not too sure about it, remember, you can always come back to it. So therefore, it is important that your examination technique is in place so that you know exactly how you need to go about answering a question when you walk into the examination room. Okay, so what we're going to be doing now is we're going to go into a question. And I think before we go into a question, what we'll do is we'll take a short break. Don't you stray or go away, because we'll be back with you in a jiffy.